Top 3 foods to avoid and don't get old. Ever wondered why some people seem to age like fine wine, looking youthful year after year? It's not just good genes or expensive creams, it often boils down to what's on their plate. Aging, in many ways, is a result of cumulative damage at the cellular level, influenced by our environment, lifestyle, and, importantly, our diet. Recent medical research suggests that certain foods can accelerate the aging process, while others can help maintain a youthful glow. Curious about which foods to ditch for a more ageless appearance? Let's dive into the top 3 foods that might just be the culprits behind those premature wrinkles, and how avoiding them could be your ticket to turning back the clock, at least a little bit. Here are the top 3 foods to avoid and don't get old. 1. Sugary treats. Sugary treats, like those delicious desserts that many of us find hard to resist, might actually be one of the culprits behind signs of premature aging. You might have heard of some celebrities or ageless beauties swearing off sweets, and there's a good reason for that. When we consume high amounts of sugar, it's not just the potential weight gain we should be worried about. There's an even more concealed effect on our skin and overall health. Now you might wonder, how does sugar impact our skin? Well, when sugar enters our bloodstream, it can attach itself to proteins. This binding process is called glycation. Over time, these sugar-protein complexes become advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, which is quite an apt acronym given their role in aging. AGEs are notorious for targeting the proteins that keep our skin youthful and bouncy, specifically collagen and elastin. Collagen provides our skin with structure, while elastin gives it elasticity. Once these proteins are damaged by AGEs, it can result in the skin becoming more fragile, less elastic, and more prone to wrinkles and sagging. But the impact of sugar isn't just skin deep. High sugar consumption has a ripple effect on our overall health. It's a major player in the development of diseases that most of us aim to avoid. For instance, when our blood sugar levels are constantly high, it can pave the way for insulin resistance, which is a precursor for diabetes. This condition can lead to various complications, from kidney problems to nerve damage and even vision issues. Moreover, a sugary diet can strain the heart. Excess sugar can lead to weight gain, and obesity is a known risk factor for heart diseases. Not to mention, high sugar intake can result in increased blood pressure and inflammation, both of which can be harmful to the heart. It can also elevate triglyceride levels, which is a type of fat found in the bloodstream. High triglyceride levels combined with other factors can increase the risk of heart disease. The story doesn't end there. Some research also points towards a link between high sugar diets and certain types of cancers. Although the exact mechanisms are still being studied, it's believed that the insulin resistance caused by excessive sugar consumption can promote tumor growth. All in all, while a little treat here and there probably won't hurt, it's essential to be mindful of the long-term effects of indulging too often. Reducing our sugar intake can be a significant step towards not only looking younger for longer, but also promoting better overall health. 2. Salt. Salt, that indispensable ingredient that adds flavor to our meals, can be a double-edged sword when it comes to our health. In the right amounts, salt is crucial. It helps maintain the fluid balance in our cells, assists in transmitting nerve impulses, and plays a role in muscle contractions. However, when consumed in excess, it begins to take a toll on our well-being. Imagine you're cooking a sumptuous meal, and as you're about to season it, consider this. Overloading on salt in our daily diet can have repercussions that go beyond just a thirstier palate. A chief concern linked to high salt consumption is high blood pressure, or hypertension. When there's too much salt in our bloodstream, it pulls water into the blood vessels, increasing the volume of blood inside them. The added volume then puts extra pressure on the vessel walls, leading to high blood pressure. This condition isn't tagged the silent killer for nothing. Over time, if left unchecked, it can lead to severe health complications like heart disease, which remains one of the top causes of death globally. Stroke, another potential consequence of hypertension, can result in long-term disability or even death. The kidneys, which filter our blood and maintain its salt balance, can also suffer. High blood pressure can damage the delicate vessels in the kidneys, hampering their filtering capacity. This is a concerning loop, as impaired kidneys cannot effectively remove excess sodium, leading to even higher blood pressure. And as we grow older, this salt saga takes another twist, Aging kidneys tend to lose some of their efficiency. They might struggle to filter out sodium as effectively as they once did, which means that seniors are especially vulnerable to the harmful effects of excess salt. Hence, it's not uncommon for doctors to advise older adults to be particularly vigilant about their salt intake. But let's not forget the immediate and perhaps more noticeable effects of binging on salt. The feeling of bloating. Consuming a meal high in salt can lead to water retention. Our body, in its attempt to balance out the high sodium levels, retains more water. This can result in a swollen or puffy appearance and an uncomfortable bloated feeling, especially in the feet, hands, and around the abdomen. In a nutshell, while a sprinkle of salt here and there is perfectly fine and even necessary, it's essential to strike a balance. By being more mindful of our salt intake, especially during cooking and when choosing processed foods, we can do our part in keeping our body in good health and age gracefully. 3. Carbs, especially potatoes. Carbohydrates, or carbs for short. They've gotten quite a bit of attention in recent years, haven't they? From being celebrated as an energy booster to being criticized in certain dietary circles, carbs have seen both ends of the spectrum. And then, of course, there's the beloved potato, often placed under the spotlight when discussing carbs. Carbs are, indeed, our body's go-to energy source. Think of them as the gasoline you'd put in your car. When you eat carbs, your body converts them into glucose, which your cells then use for energy. But here's the catch. Just as you wouldn't overfill your car's gas tank, it's not a great idea to overload on carbs, especially if you're not burning them off through physical activity. Unused glucose can be stored as fat, which over time can lead to weight gain. Now, let's talk potatoes. At their core, no pun intended, potatoes are quite nutritious. They're a good source of vitamin C, vitamin B6, and minerals like potassium and manganese. The trouble starts not with the potato itself, but with how we often choose to prepare and consume it. A fresh boiled or steamed potato is quite different from its fried counterpart. When potatoes take the form of fries, chips, or are loaded with generous dollops of butter, cheese, and cream, their calorie count soars. For someone keen on maintaining or achieving a particular weight, indulging too often in these rich preparations might not be the best strategy. The aging factor also plays a role here. Remember those days when you could eat anything and not gain an ounce? As we age, our metabolism tends to slow down. This means that our body doesn't burn calories as efficiently as it once did. Couple that with reduced physical activity, which is common in older age, and you've got a scenario where it becomes even more critical to monitor what you eat. The carbs that once served as quick energy might now be sticking around longer than you'd like. However, it's worth noting that demonizing carbs or potatoes isn't the answer. It's all about balance. Carbohydrates are still an essential part of a balanced diet. It's the type, amount, and preparation that matters. Opt for whole, minimally processed carb sources. Watch portion sizes and be mindful of preparation methods. And always remember, potatoes, when consumed in their more natural states and in moderation, can fit perfectly well in a balanced and healthy diet, regardless of age. All right, folks, there you have it. While the fountain of youth might remain elusive, making smart choices about what we consume is undeniably within our grasp. It's evident that a diet laden with excessive sugar, salt, and certain types of carbs can hasten the aging process both inside and out. However, being conscious of these pitfalls and making tweaks to our diet can not only keep those signs of aging at bay, but also bolster our overall health. At the end of the day, it's not about cutting out the joy of eating, but relishing in foods that nourish us in more ways than one. And speaking of nourishment, let's whip up a super easy avocado and pomegranate mix. Perfect for when you want something fresh and packed with goodness. Here's what you'll need. Got a ripe avocado? Great! Scoop it out and dice it up. Grab a pomegranate and get all those juicy seeds out. Some fresh greens, maybe rocket, or as some call it, arugula, or just some spinach. A tablespoon of that good old extra virgin olive oil. Half a lemon squeezed. A pinch of salt and pepper. Feeling fancy? Add some crumbled feta cheese. For a bit of crunch, toss in some toasted pine nuts or almonds. Get a big bowl and toss in your AV. Let's get to it. Get a big bowl and toss in your avocado bits and pomegranate seeds. Throw in those greens. Now, in a little bowl, let's make that dressing. Mix up the olive oil, lemon juice, salt, and pepper. Drizzle that fresh dressing right over your salad. Give it a gentle mix. making sure everything's mingling nicely. Top it off with some feta and nuts if that's your jam. And there you have it. Dig in and savor every bite. This salad is not only a delightful burst of flavors and textures, but it also offers antioxidants from the pomegranate, healthy fats from the avocado, and a touch of freshness from the greens. Perfect for those keen on celebrating good food that's equally good for the body. Remember, staying young isn't just about avoiding the bad, but also embracing the good. Eat well, stay active, and age gracefully.